Georgia 551 here to let you know what you're about to see. I have had plenty experience in doing, whether recreational in forms of running or walking for exercise, or having to go about town in severe weather. I have done it before, I know what I'm doing, so please do not attempt stuff like this yourself, unless you too know exactly what you are doing. Snowmageddon, February 8th, 2008. Going into crossing the street, so I'm kind of paying attention to that rather than dialogue. Going into the mid-afternoon of Saturday, January 9th. This is a blizzard that is supposed to be as big as the blizzard of '78, if not bigger. Then again, that depends on who you listen to, because some say not even close. We here are supposed to get at least 2 feet of snow after it's all done. And it's really hard to find a good place to measure, but I think right here in Carter Park will be good. Right here in the middle where railroad tracks used to be. And I may have to clear the path with my own paw, leg, and what have not, and use the Stanley Fat Max 30-foot tape measure to get an accurate reading. Why a tape measure? Because I might even measure some of the drifts as well, and a yardstick just won't do. We're using the TX10 camera because it is, to a degree, waterproof and freeze-proof. So that's what we're going to have, and hopefully we'll have a little better luck with maintaining some sort of image quality when it comes to distortion from water hitting the lens. Anyway, right now it has, as you can see, the snow has started to fly. It's starting to accumulate. It's very light and fluffy. It almost looks fake. There's only like a dusting at this point. It's been going on and off for 4 hours now. Around 2 p.m. is when the meat of the storm is supposed to start. And around 8 p.m. to around 1 p.m. tomorrow is supposed to be where the heavy stuff is. And they're saying 2 to 3 inches an hour. Right now, we got nothing. And that's what we have for now. 3:15 p.m. About an hour after the predicted height of the storm. That is the last train this station will see, as the MBTA has suspended service as of 3:30. And as you can kind of see, it is coming down at a good clip. It's getting hard to see anything. And in terms of accumulation, we have not gotten to that yet. This is an undisturbed chest, and I'll show you. There's about maybe a ½ inch accumulation thus far. So, Governor Deval Patrick has issued, for the first time in a very long time, a mandatory ban on use of the roads in this state. No traffic whatsoever is allowed, except for emergency and other approved personnel. Otherwise, you could be fined and or put in prison. However, that is motor vehicle traffic. So, maybe about 4:30, 5 o'clock, we'll go downtown and see how the storm is and see how people are adhering to the traveling ban when it comes to motor vehicles. I must stress that part. People are heeding the governor's warnings. It's almost 4 o'clock, and this is Route 2. Normally totally bumper to bumper. It's almost entirely vacant. There's a car here and there, but come about 25 minutes, if you're on this road, you could be going to jail. This is something I've never seen before. Are they, no pun intended, blowing things out of proportion? Or is this ban of the roads gonna really help make things better after the storm passes? We'll find out. Mall of Whitney Field, the restaurant area, completely empty. This is really unbelievable. Because as I've mentioned earlier, and I repeat because I know that it's stated that people that watch YouTube generally have short attention spans, that they're predicting this storm could be worse than the blizzard of '78. And if you're not from New England or never really heard of it, Google blizzard of '78 in Boston. Very, very scary pictures of cars buried halfway up on busy highways or freeways for those of you that don't live in New England. The infamous Route 128 parking lot, as some of us call it. Denny's has a few people, and that's about it. Even the gas station's empty. Mick Ghost Town. Although I can do better than that. No one at Burger King. Well, here we are at the Mall of Whitney Field, or as we purists still call it, Searstown Mall. And here's the Sears. And here's the parking lot. Completely empty. There's the market basket. There's a few cars there. None of the restaurants and shops down there have any cars in front of them. And I see absolutely no lighting in Sears outside of a scant view. And being there's a few cars, the mall still might be open. Let's find out. And if it ain't, it ain't. I think we got our message here. Yep. I think they're telling us something. Yep. She's closed. And I think they were trying to tell us something. But we wanted to actually show it to you. Alright, that's that. This is just so scary looking. Just a car here and there. Okay, enough short updates. We're gonna wait a while and get to when it starts to pick up. Oh, and we got a guy in a truck sliding around thinking he's great. It's almost 5 o'clock and the snow's starting to blow and drift everywhere. And as we can see, this is downtown, usually completely filled with traffic. Uh-oh, you're not supposed to be driving. Is it really worth $1,000 fine and or 1 year in prison? I was gonna say in the Fed pen, but that might not. I don't know about that. I don't think any cops would really do anything but give people warnings. That's my personal opinion. But none of these people are supposed to be on the road now. All traffic was supposed to be suspended as of an hour ago. And over here at the new Rollstone Bank and Trust building, they wanted that to be 100% completed in terms of the exterior. That didn't happen. But they got it far enough they can do the interior no problem. This would be completely filled up And traffic over there would be backed up a quarter-mile past that set of red lights over there. Completely backed up there and there. Somebody else that shouldn't be driving. I'm sure they are allowing a little fudge factor. But they were also told 4 o'clock, everybody off. I left at 10 o'clock from work because they were contemplating on shutting everything down at noon. So far, not exactly a lot of snow here. I mean, we got maybe an inch, but the main part of the storm has not come yet. That's supposed to hit us around 8, 9 o'clock, and that's where, quite possibly even way out here, we'll have 3 inches of snow per hour and winds exceeding 50 to 60 miles per hour. Oh boy, the fun! And that's supposed to go till about, like, the worst of it, 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Oh, another no-no. Well, that's the update we have now, and we got, well, that truck. That's allowed. But I see a lot of vehicles that shouldn't be out. And just like the mall at Whitney Field, this is just eerie. I've never seen anything like this. And again, they want to prevent the entrapment issue that occurred during the blizzard of '78. There's the Gallagher building. And here's yet again an empty road with, as you saw, one driver that shouldn't be on it, and some over there. I've also noticed a lot of empty spaces. Where are all these cars? Well, I got the answer. Right here in the parking lot. Supposedly it's free parking on the weekends. Completely filled. Look at that. It's free, so everybody who can is parking in there. The reason I stepped back, there were people in there. I didn't notice. Alright. This is more, eye height here. Look at that. This is normally empty. And it's totally filled up. So if you're wondering why there aren't any people parked in their own driveways, that's pretty much it. We'll come back out in a few hours because it's only like an inch and a half right now. I'm just waiting for this big 18 to 36 inches. More guesstimates are around 2 feet though. 7:30 p.m. As you can see, the snow is literally starting to fly. We get some occasional good wind gusts going around. I mean, things are blowing around, but not a whole lot. But like I said, every now and then we get a little bit of a gust like we're getting now. It's not a big one. So far, the storm's falling short of expectations, which is not necessarily a bad thing. We're going to walk backwards, so keep the wind to our backs. And what we're going to do is find this empty slot here. And it varies because I've noticed that there's bare spots still. Actually, it's not that bare. Problem is, you can't really find a smooth spot here that's going to really tell the tale. So what I got here is my Fat Max tape measure, which I'm going to let you watch the storm as I try and set this thing up. We don't need much of a tape measure as of yet. And right now we have about, I said it's hard to find a good spot. We got a little over 2 inches. And Summer Street here has not even been touched yet. I'm sure they'll get to it. Then again, it's only a couple inches right now. 10 p.m. As you can see, it's really starting to blow around. We're also now finally in the thick of things. It's been just an inch here, an inch there, over a long period of time. And that was it. Now, I'm gonna try and find that spot where we can get some accurate reading, which is with these wind drifts not very possible, but we're gonna try anyway. We got the fat maps. Gonna pull out the tape measure and set the spring. There we go. This is fairly consistent right here. Six inches. Okay, put that away. Let that wind go. It's from the north, gusting to about 30 miles an hour. Looks a lot worse than what it really is. And that's what we get at 10 o'clock. It is now Saturday, February 9th, 4:36. Usually I'm up every few hours to clear my car to make things manageable. Not this time. Anyway, here are the streets. There's a plow. The unfortunate thing about not allowing traffic on these roads is the heat from the undercarriage doesn't heat up the surface, and now it's like walking on a skating rink. Anywho, I got my Fat Max, which is not cooperating with me, per usual when it involves the camera being on. And look at how tall these drifts are. I know I'm not going to get the most accurate of readings, but I'm not trying to undo the plow's work here. But the berms are approximately, I'm trying to eyeball it here, and Sony don't want to focus, they're nearly 3 feet high. And that's the berms that the plows are making. Anyway, it's still snowing very heavily. There's some wind gusts. Sorry about the aiming. My camera is, the tape measure is not being very cooperative with this effort. There, I got one. This is just a little under 3 feet, but that's berms caused by plowing. Now, I'm going to walk right through it, which is very difficult, but manageable. There we go. Now we're where we want to be. And this all looks fairly even. So let's take an official reading. If the wind will let me do that. There we go. We're only at a foot. And if I pick up a spot here, yeah, it verifies that it's a, well, about 1'4". So, I mean, again, it varies depending on where you measure because of the snow drifting and what have not. And this camera just does not want to focus. It is still very windy. Snow's not coming down as hard, but still very quickly. And that's the update we have for now. We are here on Prescott Street, just a little out of the way. And I gotta point out something. Oh look, a plow. Doing their job. I have to say, and this is really weird, but Deval Patrick probably did come up with a good idea. Sony. Sony autofocus. Gotta hate it. It's not doing its job. Anyway, if we aim at the snowmaking, there we go. Just like the other streets, the snowplow is the subject. They're trying to keep up with it, and it's only about not even a 1/4 inch on over here. However, I think the snowplows didn't quite do their job fully because Prescott Street does not end right. Whoa, slippery as all heck. That's the downside of not letting traffic on these roads. These things are freaking ice rinks. It does not end at this triple decker. I'll point that out to you in a little bit. Here we are at this triple decker. And this is something the plow guys need to know. This is Prescott Street. And this little hill is also part of Prescott Street. And here's something they kind of need to know. It's part of it. And look. Almost, it's midway up my shin here. They have completely failed to do this part of the road. And this thing just does not focus. There we go. It's going to be hard to see because this thing doesn't focus. But, oh gee, it actually did for once. I mean, seriously guys? When you were here, you should have done the job. And they didn't. I mean, this is complete failure right here. We got about, oh, Fat Max ain't cooperating again. About 7.5 inches of snow. And they plowed the other part and they left this one alone. Good job. This is part of the street. This isn't part of this building, and the camera just does not focus. And here we come onto Summer Street, and this berm just pretty much got pushed in by snowplows, believe it or not, that never bothered to do this street. And we're about an inch here, but it's falling so fast. That's this update. Saturday, 10:18 a.m. Uh-oh. We got people that shouldn't be driving. There's a driving ban still in effect. Massachusetts officials say no one's been cited over the storm. I think a lot of the officials thought the ban was kind of stupid. So I don't think if they wanted to, they would cite anyone. Oh, here's another person that shouldn't be on the road. Yeah, everybody is staying off the roads. Sure. Every once in a while you'll find a legit vehicle out here. Oh, there's another one that shouldn't be driving, but you know, if you got a truck or an SUV, it must be alright. And here's something that should be on the road. Alrighty, we've seen enough. Because I'm sure one of the things you want in this update is a snow total. But before we do that, note that the snow is starting, and I mean just starting to taper down. And there's still a wind presence, but it's a lot less than what it was during the wee hours of the night. So let's go to Carter Park where we've been measuring and see what we get. Well, here we are at Carter Park, and you never know that I've walked through here. Here's a snowbank, and I don't think I'm going to get an accurate measurement as to how big the snowdrift is. I got my, yeah, we're not going to get an accurate measurement because as durable as a Fat Max tape measure is, it's not going to stand up to a crap load of snow. In fact, I can't even get it to it's a little, just a hair over 3 feet in this area, and this very uncooperative tape measure will not hold. In fact, let's show you how deep it is. There's my kneecap right there. And I'm ever so slowly walking through waist-high snow. I can't prove it because I'm collapsing it under my weight. And there we are. Broke on through it. And again, we have drifts. So we're not 100% sure how accurate our measurements will be. But it looks relatively flat, so to speak. I mean, the roly-poly nature you might see in the video is actually that of the terrain. And we have 1 foot, about 16.5 inches, if that's showing up for you. So we still have till about 1 o'clock before everything starts winding down. And because of the drifts, I mean, it may not be 100% accurate how much we got. I just thought I'd like to show you this again. So usually at this point I'd stop video. Let me just actually dig down here. I'm standing in the middle of this. I'm trying not to get this into the road because it's very illegal to dump snow in the road that's been plowed. No, I can't do it. But here's my kneecap again. And I don't know if I'm getting it in. There's the kneecap. And here's the snow banking. And I'm not all the way down either. Whoops. And I lose control of the camera there for a moment. And I'm not a tall one, I'm only 5'7". So that'll give you some bearing. Well, it's almost 4:30, and as you can see here, traffic is flowing yet again because as of 4 o'clock, the ban on traffic has been lifted. As you can see, St. Leo's Church is back to normal. And the official readings that we've got thus far is 20 inches for Leominster. However, it depends where you are. I'm here in Carter Park. I dug a hole down to the bare area, and it's only 16 inches here. But again, there are places in the city where it's nearly 30. Some people on Facebook said almost 3 feet in some parts of Leominster. But the official reading here is 20 inches. And there are places that got almost 3 feet of snow, if not more. So that is what we got here. And we don't need to go downtown because the whole point of that is to show that traffic is moving yet again. And this time you are allowed. But I do have one more thing to show you. Okay, before we end, we're here on Summer Street. Once again, freshly paved. We can see some of the pavement. And to absolutely no surprise whatsoever, this part of Prescott Street completely ignored. It has not once, I think only once in the beginning, it got, look at this, it hasn't been done at all. Oh well, there's somebody staring at me. It's still windy, as you can probably hear, and kind of see. And that'll be it for this storm video. And per usual, when the camera rolls, Mother Nature's been rather cooperative. Although it did get windy in the middle. This is Georgia 551 saying, hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.